It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, one and all, subscribers and future subscribers. Hello, members and future members. Hello. It's good to see everyone here today. I see you, Ravi. I see you, Cohagen. I see you, David. Big old. Well, actually, you know what? It's probably best if I say this to everyone. So let's go. Yo, peoples, Qushu92 here, and welcome back to more One Piece. Big shout out to Ravi and his daughter who just turned 4 today. Happy birthday to you, little one. You may not know who I am, but I just want you to know that we appreciate your father here. Thank you. Happy birthday to Ravi's daughter. It's good to see everyone. Last we left out on, it wasn't One Piece. It was Peak Piece. We had one peak. We had one peak. It was an excellent chapter, showcasing us so many things in the mural that depicts the world where it had 3 different disasters hit it and basically change it forever. Seeing it here in the land of the giants, finding out about Shanks' brother, and then above all else, just Oda really just set the pages on fire with the last chapter that we got. So I can't wait to see what chapter we get because it appears we go on break after this chapter. So let's begin, shall we? Chapter 1139, Mountain Eater. And Chapter 1139, Mountain Eater, Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 25, we captured a rebellious duo. Now, the last image showed Who's Who was alive and well, and he basically had his own little hovel in the middle of Udon. Now here, he appears to have 2 people who are currently in shadow, but I think I know who they are, that he has a sword drawn on, that I think he's looking to execute. And the people I think he's looking to execute, just based off of the top of their heads and their horns, one appears to be Ulti, and the other appears to be Page 1. Because you know Page 1 in his human form, he has that hat. He always wears a hat that has a flat top. And Ulti, has a round head with horns. Because anyone else who has horns that used to be part of the Tobiropo, they were either excessively large, like, Black Maria, or they had statures that does not meet what these silhouettes look like. So I'm guessing that this rebellious duo is in fact Ulti and Page 1 that Who's Who is looking to execute. So, if we see the members of the Tobiropo showing up after the whole Wano arc, and they're just alive and well, should be interesting to see what type of impact they'll have in being in Wano. But I'm just saying, mind you, Yamato and Tama are peeking in on Who's Who and whatever he's doing in here, so it should be interesting to see what happens when Yamato jumps in. Because Yamato's gonna jump in, you already know. Chapter 1139, Mountain Eater. And then we cut back to Zoro because we get back into Aurist Castle. We've been looking for this key for a while now. Are we even gonna find it in this huge place before sundown? And then Roto is speaking. The gods certainly won't know where it is. If anyone would know the location of the key, it would either be Chief Jarl or a few of the elders. Oh, the old sword Gramps. I wonder if he'd tell us. He would never give it to you. Freeing Loki would be a terrible crime. We didn't decide we were going to free him yet either. You're so strict, Zoro. And then Nami chimes in. Hey, look over here. What's up?
Red carpet, traces of opulence. Could that be the throne room?
And it looks like we're walking into the throne room. Oh my goodness, that's how Gunko and Shamrock, that's the place they were. I was wondering what that room was when Shamrock and Gunko teleported into Aurist Castle. They were teleported straight into the throne room.
But pardon us.
Jeez, it's all busted up.
The scars of battle here are vicious.
Even the ceiling's missing.
It is the throne room. What is that strange mark?
Mark? What mark? It's the mark. It's the mark of the Ooh! They're all seeing the mark of how they got in. Oh, you're right.
It looks like a magic circle out of a book or something.
Magic what? It's the thing they use in ritual demon summoning in some country or other.
Huh? What? It's the thing they use in ritual demon summoning. They really are demons. These are demon summoning circles. They're gonna say are demons. If we didn't already come to that conclusion, but this is just another. You don't just say they're used in ritual demon summoning in some country or other. You don't just casually say that. That's such an off-the-wall thing to say. But given who we witnessed using these circles the first time,
it's the thing they use in ritual demon summoning in some country or other.
What? They call demons?
Beats me.
What is such a thing doing in a throne room?
Oh, wait, it's Roto who's going, what is such... No, wait, it's not Rode who's saying it's the thing they use in ritual demon summoning. I think this is either one of the Straw Hats going, I'm going to assume that it's either Nami or Zoro going, it's a thing they use in ritual demon summoning in some country or other.
What? They call demons?
Beats me.
What is such a thing doing in the throne room? It's eerie.
I feel like I've seen something like this lately, though.
Straw Hat! Straw Hat Luffy!
Huh?
Who's that? A demon?
It's obviously not a demon. Who is it?
Is it a lost soul from beyond the grave come to haunt us?
I've been hoping to meet you.
Rest, spirit of the dead! Rest, spirit of the dead!
Whoa, who is that? Show yourself!
Are you a demon summoned to this place? I just knew this castle was haunted. We must flee before the ghost haunts us too.
Wait, don't run, Roto! And then all of a sudden, a big old giant axe comes flying in, and it lands right next near Roto, and he flips out, forgetting that he's holding Zoro, Luffy, and Nami, and they all just go flying.
Don't drop us!
And then all of a sudden, Nami is falling, but Luffy caught her and handed her off to Zoro. And she just goes,
Thanks.
Someone's on the chair. Forgive me, ultra rare Nami.
I'm gonna smack you.
And then the person is just sitting up top is just sitting on the armrests of this giant throne.
It's Surya, but why are you here?
I felt some very abnormal hockey coming from the castle earlier. It seems to have left, but now I find you here instead. And this person, we get the full view of this person. Human, former pirate, living in Elbaf, Mr. Ya. Y-A, Ya. And he is not Shiki. Everyone who was thinking this was going to be Shiki, the golden line for some reason, yeah, y'all could just soak it in. It's not Shiki. It's not Shiki. Human, former pirate, living in Elbaf, Mr. Ya. I felt some very abnormal hockey coming from the castle earlier. It seems to have left, but now I find you here instead. I've heard the stories about you, Strawhead Luffy, including that you took care of Kaido. Boy, I'd love to go traveling around Wano again.
Surya? He goes by Mr. Ya in Elbaf.
You went to the school, correct?
You went to the school, correct? Did you not meet a teacher named Ripley there? He's her husband.
I knew it! This is Kowloon's dad and Ripley's husband!
Oh!
You went to the school, correct? Did you not meet a teacher named Ripley there? He is her husband.
Oh, so you're the dad of that giant shrimp.
Giant shrimp? I guess I am. So you met Kowloon and Ripley, eh? He took on a lot of giant's blood. He grew up without me being able to hold him in my arms. Would you believe he's 20? And Ripley is 80. She's older than me.
Kowloon is 20 years old. And Ripley is 80. Girl, you rocking that 80.
Let me tell you, marrying a giant's not worth it. I get older, they stay the same age.
That's a good point. I'm just surprised to hear that someone's actually done it.
Love is free! And he just hops down from the throne right in front of everybody. He looks to be quite tall, though. Not, Admiral tall, but he's very tall.
There are many mixed blood races throughout history. The Buccaneers, the Dosundata.
Who? Hold up. The Buccaneers, the Dosundata. Who are the Dosundata? Someone refresh my memory on who the Dosundata is. The fact that he's just throwing out the Buccaneer name, though.
The Buccaneers, the Dosundata, the Long Arms and Long Legs, and the Wotans. These blended people don't tend to last long, but in every era there has always been those who are more open-minded.
Ah. And then but Zoro's noticed it as he goes, "You seem to know a whole lot. Who are you, anyway?"
I'm the preacher of love!
That sounds like what Sanji'll be when he's older.
Anyway, I'm looking for the key to Loki's cuffs.
Don't just tell him about it, and he wouldn't know anyway.
Oh, forget I said that.
Too late. Ah, Loki, eh? Fascinating! If there's one thing I love, it's other people causing trouble.
That's really tacky. You better not tell anybody about this.
Young lady, secrets are born to be spread.
No, stop that right now!
Do you know what kind of man Loki is? If the worst should happen because of this, what's your plan?
And Mr. Ya is asking Luffy. I'll beat him up and put the chains back on him.
Years ago, a man named Red-Haired Shanks captured Loki, but prior to that, no one was ever able to stop him. If you don't know what kind of powers Loki has or what damage he might do...
And then Luffy and Zoro just immediately start walking off. They just start walking off.
Hey, wait!
And Luffy just goes, "Let's look for the key. I think he's going to be yapping for a while."
Wait!
You're wasting our time.
He's giving us a warning. You should listen to him.
And then Rodo goes, "I'm sorry, Mr. Surya. They're just..." And then Mr. Ya is just smiling as he's just smiling, grinning ear to ear as we get a...
Ow! 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 It really is him! Ow! It's him! Mr. Ya! Oh! Mr. Ya! He's the missing Roger pirate we've been looking for! Mr. Ya is Scupper Gavin! Oh my goodness! Oh!
Woo! He's smiling ear to ear because we get the shadowed shapes of Roger talking to Rayleigh and Scupper. Ah!
I'm sick of all your warnings. Are you afraid? I didn't say that. If you want to stop me, you'll have to do it by force. I'm telling you to be aware of the risk, idiot Roger.
This is Scupper Gavin talking to Roger like this.
Hey, Rodo, go up to the throne and push it. Huh?
He's Mr. Ya is Scupper Gavin. Mr. Ya is Scupper Gavin. We just got another member of the Roger Pirates just showing up in Elbaf. He's Scupper Gavin. He's Scupper Gavin. He's Scupper Gavin. We finally got him. We finally got him. It's Scupper Gavin. Everyone was hoping. A lot of people were thinking that, oh, it's Shiki because he has long hair. But no, it's Scupper Gavin. The only member of the Rogers Pirates that we have not seen outside of Rayleigh and Crocus. And, Buggy and Shanks aside. It's Scupper Gavin. It's Scupper Gavin. It's Scupper Gavin. Oh, he's here. But he's telling Roto,
Go up to the throne and push it. Huh?
and then we cut back to the village.
In the old Pirate King's crew, there were 2 others who were especially strong aside from Roger himself.
Oh yeah, I'm guessing it's Rayleigh and someone else?
And then we get Oimo talking to Usopp about them.
That's right. One time Roger the captain needed to rest and heal, so he and the other fellow went to the hospital in the mountains. Unfortunately, he got surrounded by a bunch of enemy pirates. But this fellow went out on his own and took down hundreds of enemies with just his 2 axes.
It's Scupper Gavin!
But this fellow went out on his own and took down hundreds of enemies with just his 2 axes.
By himself? With 2 axes?
But there's more. In the place where he fought, there was only the bald mountainside left behind, with not a single tree standing.
What? That seems a little excessive.
And because of that, he gained the epithet of Mountain Eater.
And Scupper I knew OBS was just gonna mess up. Hold on, I'm gonna see where I left off before I proceed. Okay, right here. So,
and because of that, he gained the epithet of Mountain Eater.
So we got Roger, the Pirate King. We got Dark King Rayleigh. And now we have Mountain Eater Scupper Gavin. There was only the bald mountainside left behind with not a single tree standing. This dude was carving down mountains with axes. He was obliterating mountains with axes.
And because of that, he gained the epithet of Mountain Eater.
And then Jinbei goes,
It's a well-known story. After the first mate, Silver's Rayleigh, this man was known as the Pirate King's left arm.
right hand of the King Rayleigh, left arm of the King Scupper Gavin. See, Oda teased us that Rayleigh had someone who could match him in strength on the crew. The moment we got the backstory of Odin and we got introduced to Scupper Gavin was the moment Oda says, I'm teasing someone who's as strong as Rayleigh, but I'm not going to tell you more about him at all. Just know that he's right next to Rayleigh. That's all your info you're going to get. And now we're getting explained that he was right next to Rayleigh in strength.
It's a well-known story. After the first mate Silver's Rayleigh, this man was known as the Pirate King's left arm.
And then we cut back to Aurus Castle because we have Roto talking to Mr. Ya as he goes,
A hidden room? A treasure chamber?
I love you, Mr. Ya!
and because the Nami and company are still there, and they're going downstairs as she's going,
Treasure, treasure!
How do you know about this, Sir Ya? Exploring's my thing.
Whoa!
and then it's a treasure room.
Treasure!
And it's a treasure room, but all of the treasure in the chest, they've all been cleared out. All of the treasure chests inside of this room are completely cleared out.
A treasure chest room? They're all empty!
But it was a treasure room.
You lied to me!
Hey, don't blame me. It was an abandoned castle, the perfect target for burglars. But look!
Oh, a key! And it's a very big key.
Here's something no burglar would care to take.
Yes!
In other words, releasing Loki is something even the wicked dare not do. So, will you still take the key?
Huh? As Mr. Ya starts taking off his cloak and he starts taking off his hat.
What?
Yes, he's here. He's been living in Elbaf for over 20 years.
Really?
A legendary figure who stood shoulder to shoulder with Roger and Rayleigh, the left arm of the Pirate King. Scupper Gavin! Then take it from me if you can.
In order for Luffy to get the key from Scopper Gabbin to free Loki, he has to fight a former member of the Roger Pirates. That's the end of the chapter. Okay. Duh. I understand why we're going on break now. Ooh, forget about us seeing the mural of the 3 worlds from the previous destruction of the world. No, we go on break getting introduced to a still surviving member of the Roger Pirates. Scopper Gabbin is here, and he's daring Luffy to take the... Good vibes got me subbed in 5 seconds, and it's sad it was the end of the chapter. Oh, it's all good, Tweaks. It's all good. It's all good. Also, happy to have you here. I'm always happy to have new people here. I really am. But, whoo! Mountain Eater sure really has something to do with Ripley, if you catch my meaning. Stop it! Stop it! We don't make those types of jokes here. I expect that from Holster, but, okay. So let's just talk about this chapter. We get into Aris Castle. We get introduced to Mr. Ya, who we later find out is the left arm of the king, Scopper Gabbin! Oh! This is, see, I consider the last chapter that we got absolute peak. But now I may have to say the same thing about this, because not only do we have a member of the Roger Pirates who's just chilling in Elbaf, but now we have a member of the Roger Pirates who's daring Luffy to take the key to Loki from him. Mind you, Luffy is not really thinking about the implications of what it means to free Loki. He's just thinking, he might know something about Shanks. That's reason enough for me to free him. And Zoro has to be the voice of reason, like we don't know if he's lying or not. So, we can't really say for sure. Scopper Gabbin's all like, yeah, I'm just here for the ride. He literally is just here for the ride. I'm telling you all this stuff about Loki. You don't even know the powers he has. Do you really want to free him? You don't know what he can do. Do you really want to free him? Okay, I'll lead you to the key to Loki, because I want to know if you have what it takes. If you have, like, yeah, as you say, Ozzy, he's testing Luffy's resolve. And not only that, a member of the Roger Pirates has been keeping tabs on Luffy, because he recognizes the straw hat of his former captain. Oh my goodness! Oda! We got Scopper Gabbin. All the people who thought this was going to be Shiki, I wonder how they feel right now. If they were dead set on it being Shiki the Golden Lion. Even though we've already made reasons to why it could not be Shiki the Golden Lion, we find out that not only is the father of Kowloon a legendary person, but also the husband of Ripley is a legendary person, who is still a little bit salty about the fact that he ages while his wife and son do not. But also, his knowledge of the world is quite extensive, knowing a lot about mixed blood races, from the Buccaneers, the Dosudan. Hold on, I need to look this up. What is Loki's devil fruit theories? A lot. Here's the thing. I don't really have one off the top of my head, because part of me wants it to be paramecia based. But with it being a legendary fruit, I want to know, I would be hard pressed to say, what if it's a Logia? A legendary Logia. Because we've already had the Logia of smoke, snow, ice, sand, light, magma, and basically nature itself with the Woods fruit. But what other thing? And even the darkness fruit itself. So it makes me wonder, if it's a Logia, it's got to be an extremely powerful one. And if it's not a Logia, then maybe it's a legendary paramecia. And if it's not a paramecia, then the only other thing that comes to mind is a mythical Zoan fruit. an excessively powerful one. The Shiki theorists are mad. Why in the world would anyone think it would be Shiki? Because people instantly saw long hair and immediately thought, oh, it's Shiki. Because apparently Shiki the Golden Lion is the only one who has long hair in One Piece. Let's completely ignore Killer, who has very long hair. Let's completely ignore, apparently now, Scopper Gabbin, because he has very long hair. There are tons of people that have a lot of long hair in One Piece, but everyone just thought, you know what? We only see the back of him and we only see hair. So that's all we need. Because he resembles Shiki? No, he does not. If you're just talking about like he resembles Shiki from the back because he has long hair and he's wearing like this big old coat, that's not good enough. That is not good enough. Let me see. What is Loki's devil fruit? He thinks he's the sun god. Every giant likes to think they're the sun god. Killer, Dragon, Judge, Rayleigh. Rayleigh does not have long hair. He has a long strand of hair, but not long hair where it goes down his back. Whatever it is, it needs to be strong enough that the Holy Knights have to recruit him. It's because the color scheme, they painted him with orange. Yeah, but people just... This is the reason why it's good to have an open mind about who you think someone could be. Now people who have been saying from day one that, oh, it's Shiki the Golden Lion, it's Shiki the Golden Lion, you can't change my mind. Now you have no choice but to accept the fact that you were wrong. But we need to discuss Robin, Nami. We're talking about dudes. We're talking about dudes with spiky hair. We're talking about dudes with spiky hair. Just naming women with a lot of long hair will not count. And we can't count Robin as much anymore because she's cut her hair to be like that of, before the time skip. Loki was stabbed with Cerberus. It means it might have some type of passive healing effect. Maybe. It is so... I wonder... Now I'm just wondering with Loki's devil fruit, can it be something that allows him to survive getting stabbed by Cerberus? So if it's something that allows him to heal himself, then maybe it's a paramecia. Because that tends to deal with stuff that deals with the body. What if there are moon fruits? It's not out of the realm of possibility. It could be Fenrir's devil fruit because there are claw marks on the wall in the throne room. Oh, wait. Hold on, let me go back. Hold on, let me look at this whole room. Okay, so I feel like Skip may be onto something because there are claw marks. Very big claw marks. If you look at panel pages 2 and 3, I'm reading from Viz. If you look at pages 2 and 3, if you look at the speech bubble that says the scars of battle here are vicious, you can see there are 3 diagonal marks going to the left side, to the left side of the throne. So that kind of enhances the theory that the devil fruit that Loki has may wind up being a mythological Zoan. He may be, like Skip says, and it kind of plays into the narrative of, Loki and Fenrir and Norse mythology. He can make things giant, opposite to the devil fruit that can make that girl giant small in the movie, I think. But here's the thing. There already exists a devil fruit that can make things giant. Inorganic things, that is. And that is already the big fruit the Grow fruit that Biblo, the owl of the owl library, he already holds. That owl already has a devil fruit that can make things giant. So that devil fruit is already in circulation. So I don't know if it's going to be something that increases gigantfication, though, because we already got two different types of devil fruits that deal with gigantfication and growing, and one that is non-canon, which is Lilia's stomach. With her, basically, mind you, hers is just making her small. Even though she's a giant, it just makes her small. And has Scopper Gabbin been proven to be the guy with the burn scars or not? He has a scar on the right side of his head, but that really proves nothing. See, looking at his face, he has a scar, but I can't call that a burn mark. I can't necessarily call it a burn mark. However, is it just me, or does the scar on his head kind of look like the tip of a flame? I'm just saying, is it just me? Maybe I'm reaching. Maybe I'm reaching, but it kind of looks that way. Kind of looks like a scar that is also half flame tipped. It just seems that way to me. But let me continue. So, you guys know I love to read the synopsis of chapters as we go. So let me pull up One Piece 139, and just read through the whole synopsis if they got it down already. Excellent! Love these guys. It's not as long as the last one that we got. So let me just go here. Exit out of all of these ads. The Straw Hats have been unable to find the key to Loki's chains yet, and the sun is beginning to set. Rhodes says the only people likely to know the key's location would be Jarl or some of the other elders. Luffy considers asking Jarl, but Rhodes warns him it would be a terrible crime. Wait, his name is Scopper, is a Scooper Gabbin, like the sound effect? No, Gabbin, Gaban. And it's not Scooper, it's Scopper. It's Scopper Gabbin. Okay, let me get back to this. The straw has been... Luffy considers asking Jarl, but Rhodes warns him it would be a terrible crime. And Zoro says they have not fully decided to free him. The four then see the throne room, but when they enter, they notice a magic circle on the floor, which Nami says was used... Okay, so it's Nami who said this. Which Nami says was used in rituals for summoning demons, which freaks Rhodes out. Luffy, however, says it looks familiar to him, because Luffy has a bad memory and he forgets that it's the same summoning circle where the Gorosei faced off against him in Egghead. He completely forgot that's where it came from. Remind me never to, Luffy's gonna be bad with anniversaries. If he was ever the type to get married, he would be horrible with anniversaries. Scopper rhymes with copper. Or chopper. Scopper and Chopper. Ooh, Scopper and Chopper. They need to meet right proper. No, it's in the last page. That's why they call him Ya. It's not in the last page. I don't know where you're reading it from, but there is no Gyaban in the Viz translation, which is the same one that you're going to see in stores. It does not have a GYA. It doesn't have a GYA. The four then hear a voice calling out to Luffy, saying they had been waiting to meet him. Rhodes freaks out, thinking it's a spirit, and makes a run for it, only for a large axe to be thrown at him, cutting him off and causing him to drop everyone. Let's also talk about Scopper Gabbin's strength for him to throw a giant-sized axe, and it embeds itself in the wall. Mind you, Scopper is literally a fraction of Rhodes' size. But he just throws a giant, the axe looks the same size as the one that Vanderdecken threw at Shirahoshi that Luffy caught all the way back in Fishman Island. Let's see, Rhodes freaks out thinking it's a spirit and makes a run for it, only for a large axe to be thrown at him, cutting him off and causing him to drop everyone. Luffy and Zoro land safely, while the latter catches Nami, and Luffy sees someone on the throne. Rhodes recognizes the person as Mr. Ya, a former pirate, and asks him what he is doing here. Ya says he senses some abnormal haki coming from the room, but it is gone. And while Rhodes explains to Luffy that Ya is Ripley's husband and therefore Kowloon's father. Ya comments on how much giant blood Kowloon inherited, so he was never really able to hold him in his arms. And right now, Kowloon is 20 years old while Ripley is 80, yet they are still young. Ultimately, Ya admits marrying a giant is not worth it if your partner and child will outlive you. Never, and I mean never, rely on the scans for the proper spelling. Yeah, don't. I know these chapters, I know these chapters come out early, but do not rely on scans that have different spelling, because people look at me saying like, this is not how it looked in mine. The one you're reading is wrong then, because the one I'm reading from is the official one, the published one, the one that will be in manga volumes in stores for people to buy. What I'm reading will be the official thing. But you say you're reading it from Viz, but it doesn't have a Y. So I'm wondering where you're seeing that from. Yeah, I'm looking through it, but I don't see no Gia anywhere. So it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder where you read from. No one senses the hockey except Gabin. His hockey mastery's got to be amazing. Exactly. Zoro and Luffy are good with observation hockey and also being able to sense, sense hockey as a whole. Now, mind you, Gabin was actually, you know what? No, because Gabin showed up at the castle after they had already walked in. But Gabin could sense the hockey coming from Gunko and Shamrock, but no one else could, not even Luffy and Zoro, who are exceptional observation hockey users. But Gabin could sense it. No, I'm scared. I am scared of Scopper Gabin's capabilities, because if Rayleigh was able to teach Luffy all the fundamentals of hockey, now we got Scopper Gabin, who's literally the left hand of Roger, while Rayleigh's the right hand of Roger. What can Scopper Gabin do? I'm scared of this man. He old, but at the same time, he's still extremely powerful, and he's saying like, oh, I know about you, Luffy. I know about you, And the thing that gets me about Scopper, you know what? I gotta read through this, because I need to say something about Scopper Gabin real quick. The four-hero voice, Yas says he senses some abnormal hockey coming from the room, but it is gone, and instead he meets the Straw Hats. Ya tells Luffy he heard about his victory over Kaido, and now he would like to visit Wano again. While Rod explains to Luffy that Ya is Ripley's husband and therefore Kowloon's father, Ya comments on how much giant blood Kowloon inherited, so he was never really able to hold him in his arms, and right now Kowloon is 20 years old while Ripley is 80, yet they are still young. Ultimately, Ya admits marrying a giant is not worth it if your partner and child will outlive you. Nami is surprised to meet someone who would actually marry a giant, but Ya jumps down to the group and explains that love is free, and there are tons of mixed races in the world, and even though they do not tend to last long, there are several people who are open to the idea. Loki. Zoro asks Ya who he really is, but he simply refers to himself as a preacher of love. Luffy asks Ya if he knows where the key to Loki's chains is, but Road scolds him for just asking point blank. Ya, however, says he enjoys seeing other people cause trouble. Given who he served under, that is literally no surprise. There is no one who caused more of a ruckus than Roger. So it makes sense he likes to be around people who just start stuff. Let me see. He does ask Luffy if he knows what kind of person Loki is, as well as what he would do should the worst happen if he is freed. Luffy simply says he will beat Loki up and chain him back up, but Ya says the only person who was able to capture Loki was Shanks, and if Luffy goes in without knowing what Loki can do, it would spell trouble for him. Luffy, though, just starts walking away, having gotten bored of listening to Ya. This is how Saitama behaves around people who don't explain things in less than 10 words. Road tries to apologize to Ya for the disrespect, but Ya just thinks back to his time with Roger and how he tried to get him to be more aware of potential risks. Ya tells Road to push over the throne, which he does. Back in the village. Looks like Master Roshi. If Master Roshi had a full head of hair. In Japanese and all fan translation, it is Gyabin, but Viz is Gabin. Mr. Ya is sort of a Gyabin, so you missed that form translation. Mr. Ya is sort of Gyabin, so you missed that form translation. Gotcha. But you know how it is with Viz. They tend to change things from the exact name from Japan all the way over into America, which is why when you have like what is a name? What is a name that was actually changed? I think they try to. What is a name that they actually just fundamentally changed to be read differently? I think they called Big Mom Big Mam at one point, M-A-M, but it was actually just Big Mom. So there have been examples of it being Gyabin in Japanese, but, it's Gabin in English. Back in the village, the giants tell Usopp that in the Roger Pirates, there were two people who were just as strong as Roger himself. Usopp figures one of those people is Rayleigh, but he does not know the other. Oimo, okay, I was right. I said Oimo, I was right. Reveals that one day Roger needed to rest and he and another went up to a hospital in the mountains, but they were surrounded by enemy pirates. Roger's companion, however, defeated all of them by himself with nothing but 2 axes, and in doing so, he cut down every tree on the mountain, which earned him the epithet Mountain Eater. This man, Zolo, because in the manga here, his name is written out Zolo, Z-O-L-O, but we all call it Zoro, Z-O-R-O. So that's another example. And also, Raftel has been turned to Laugh-Tail. So that's another example. Let me see. This man is considered by many to have been Roger's left-hand man. In the castle, the group discover a hidden room filled with treasure behind the throne, which Ya discovered in his free time. Nami was initially thrilled to see it as a treasure room, but to her displeasure, when they arrive, they find everything is gone. No doubt everything having been looted years ago. However, the key to Loki's chains are still there, which Ya says no one would be crazy enough to steal. The key was literally just sitting upright on a pedestal by itself, untouched. Just as Luffy moves to get it, Ya gets to it first and tells Luffy that if he wants the key, he will have to take it from him by force. Usopp is then told that the man they were telling him about has lived in Elbaf for almost 20 years, and is none other than Ya himself, who is actually Scopper Gabin. So, Scopper Gabin is introduced in the present day. Gabin is the man drinking with Crocus on the cover of chapter 631. He is known as Yasan in Elbaf and is the partner of Ripley and the father of Kowloon. 2 new hybrid races have been mentioned. I knew it! I knew these were some new races that we never heard of. 2 new hybrid races are mentioned by Gabin. The Dosundata, and the Long Limb Necks. If I go back here to when he was talking to everyone. Let's see. The long arms, the long legs, and the Wotans. So we have the Dosundata tribe and the long limb neck tribes as well. Oimo and Kashi explained to Usopp, Sanji, Brook, and Jinbei that Gabin's strength is on par with both Roger and Rayleigh. So it's a pronoun thing. Yes, it's definitely a pronoun thing. When it comes to pronouns in Japan and translations to English, English tends to change it so it can, I guess fit better lettering-wise. Oimo and Kashi explained to Usopp, Sanji, Brook, and Jinbei that Gabin's strength is on par with both Roger and Rayleigh. Luffy's group finds the key to Loki's chains, and Gabin challenges Luffy to a battle for possession of the key. So this is what... It could be some members of Roger's crew are mixed races. It could be the case because there have been some very large people on Roger's crew. Like when we saw the fight scene in the anime, there was this one big dude. I think his name was like Gull. I forget his name. Someone will remind me. But we've seen some abnormally large people on Roger's crew when they were fighting the Whitebeard pirates back then. So it stands to reason I wouldn't be surprised if Roger's crew was just made up of mixed blood races on his crew. And Roger was just chilling with a whole bevy of mixed blood people on his crew, and they were just the strongest crew around. I never known that the Buccaneers are a hybrid race. It comes to mind because they have the stature of giants. Their unique physiology, especially Kuma's, his unique physiology and biology, for him to be a buccaneer, it is it stands to reason that he is not like a standard regular human. So it kind of was in my mind, but I didn't really voice it because I thought, he's a mixed blood race. Him being a buccaneer, him having a unique physiology and biology. I just thought, you know what? That seems to be something that only a buccaneer can have. It's not a normal human thing. It is a hybrid race. Hybrid mixing. That's the reason why Kuma is so incredibly durable and so incredibly powerful, because of the blood that he has in him, and also the pawpaw fruit that helps. But here's what I wanted to say about Scopper Gabbin, and I won't keep you guys here any longer because family is here as well, and I also need to get started with Sakamoto Days. Scopper knows that Luffy fought and beat Kaido. He knows what Luffy went through on Onigashima. And yet he still says, you get this key when you run them hands. He literally said, I know you beat Kaido, a man known as the invincible Kaido, the strongest creature in the world. Whether it was in the land, air, or sea, always bet on Kaido, someone who was impossible to keep down. I know you fought him. I know you beat him. You want this key? Quit that yakking and come get these hands. That's what he said. He literally says, I know you beat the strongest creature in the world, but if you want this key, you gonna have to beat me. Let's go. Let's see what you got. You get this key when you take it from me. Nah, Scopper Gabbin is built different. He gotta be built. I'm gonna have to restart my laptop again. I see it buffering. Don't worry. Don't worry, I see it. Don't worry, I see it. Yeah, Scopper Gabbin is built different. He's built different. If he sees Luffy fighting Kaido, if he hears Luffy fought and beat Kaido, he's all like, all right, run them hands, little Luffy. Run them hands. Let's go. Scopper pretty much is like telling Luffy, show me what you've got, boy. Show me what you got, boy. Show me you're worthy of wearing my captain's hat. But mixed does not mean part giant. It can be any two. That's true. But it is literally, I'm just saying that the blood of a mixed race, it can be a mix of giant, it can be a mix of fishman, it can be a mix of anything. So it's not necessarily buccaneers, it's just specifically giant. It's just, it could mean that. It could mean that because of the increased stature. I'm just saying. Or it could be ogre blood. Not just Oni blood. Not just, the type of... But then again, Oni blood tends to attribute to people having horns on their head, like Kaido and Black Maria and Yamato. That seems to be in line with, like, Oni blood. But Scopper Gabbin is saying, run them hands, Monkey D. Let's see what you got. I heard that our former cabin boy speaks highly of you. So let's see what you got. I heard you ran across Rayleigh. Let's see what you got. You want this key? Run them hands, Monkey D. Who you got? Gabbin or Luffy in this fight? Gabbin. I'm gonna go with Gabbin. I know Luffy's strong, and mind you, Rayleigh is no spring chicken. He is up there in age. He's like in his 70s, if not 80s. And then Scopper Gabbin, he old too. He's got like what it looks to be like white hair. He's incredibly wrinkled and old looking. But here's the thing about old people in One Piece. The older you get, the stronger you seem to be. Because have we forgotten Garp? Garp! So you know what this means? If Rayleigh and Scopper Gabbin are said to be on par with Roger, and Roger is is one of the few people in the world that could run hands with Garp evenly, that essentially means that Scopper Gabbin is in Garp territory of power. And we've seen what Garp can do. We've seen what Garp can do. Galaxy Impactor! Galaxy Divider! We've seen what Garp can do. So you mean to tell me that Scopper Gabbin is in that same league? My money's on Gabbin. But I feel like Gabbin is not going to go all out. He just wants to test Luffy. He just wants to test him. it's one thing for Luffy to train with Rayleigh and, learn from him. It's another for another member of the Roger Pirates to say, like, let me see what you got. Let's run these hands if you want this key. And like I said before, Gabin was going toe-to-toe with Odin. Yeah, also Garp got defeated and captured. He let himself get defeated and captured. He let himself just so the rest of his crew could get out. He let himself get captured. Don't think just because Garp got defeated and captured that means that that makes him weak or anything in that manner. I see you, Cohagen, but Garp let himself get captured. Just for the sake of his own men. Don't downplay the strength of Garp by saying he got defeated and captured. So did Kaido. And yet we all know him to be one of the strongest people in One Piece. What you trying to get at? What you trying to say? Never said Garp is weak. I never said that you said that, but I'm just saying, don't just include Garp got defeated and captured as if to say, like, well, he's strong, but he got defeated and captured. That means nothing. That means nothing. Remember, the third member of the God Knights is supposed to spawn here at any time. I know. That's the thing. Oh, there's so much happening on Elbaf. Ah! And we're going on break. So now we got to think about, one, we might as well get used to the pristine looks of Elbaf right now. Can we just go back to when we got first introduced to this place and we just think about how wonderful the land looks, the pristine waters, the glistening mountainsides, the hills are alive, just the lush greenery and everything. How is it going to look after the fighting starts for Elbaf? The fight for Elbaf is going to happen, okay? It's going to happen. How much of Elbaf is going to get wrecked when things pop off? Because we're still not at the pop-off moment. We're not there. We're in the setup stages of the Elbaf pop-off moment. We're still in those stages. So I'm just thinking, this is about to get worse. Because not only do we have Scopper Gabin showing up, but now we also got another member of the Holy Knights that's going to be arriving as well. And the only question is, who is this person going to be? And what type of ability are they going to have? We got Gunko with the arrow fruit. We got Shamrock with his three-headed mythical awakened Zoan sword. So who's this next member of the Holy Knights going to be? All of this. We got Oimo and Kashi, Dory and Bragi, Harudin and Stenzen, Goldberg and Gerd, and Rodo, and all these other giants who are ready to throw hands if the situation calls for it. We got 3 Holy Knights who are going to be present in Elbaf. We got Loki, that Luffy, Zoro, and company are looking to free if his answers prove to be satisfactory. All I'm wondering, just how much of Elbaf is about to get wrecked. Didn't Rayleigh one-shot Luffy in Gear 4 Bounce Man, so what makes anyone think that Gabin can't do it? Luffy will have to go Gear 5? Exactly, Rayleigh was able to contend with Gear 4 Bounce Man easily. Easily. Do you think the tree might get a big cut? I don't know. Because that's the oldest tree in all of One Piece. That is the cider, that is the jewel tree, Adam. The biggest and oldest one that exists. Sure, there's many of them throughout the world, but this is the biggest one, and it makes up an entire country. The entire land of the giants rests on this place. I would hate for it to get cut down, because that's just a whole bunch of giant heritage that would just be felled in an ensuing battle. So I would hope that that's not the case. I hope that nothing bad happens to the big jewel tree, because there's still information that needs to be had. Robin needs to see the mural. If anything were to happen to the Atom tree, Robin needs to see that mural before it happens. Also, it would take an enormous amount of power for you to cut through an entire tree that makes up a country. This is a country-sized tree. Loki is chained to it, yes, but it's not like he's chained to it and you can just easily loop around the tree in order to find the back of the chain that makes up what's holding him there. This is a country-sized tree where people live in its branches. You literally need to take a ship on a rainbow, mind you, as weird as that sounds, a rainbow just to get up to one of the lower branches. A giant ship, no less. It's a massive ship that needs to get up there, and just an entire civilization lives in its branches. You would have to have an enormous amount of strength for you to cut down that tree. They're going to capture Kowloon and Scott Bergavin's going to step up. I imagine it was probably not going to take much for him to step in and say, like, yeah, you know what? I like people who cause trouble. Let me join in with you because this is probably going to cause some more trouble as well. So, Gabin and Luffy might set some weakness for Gear 5. What's with the giant swords? We saw one in Onigashima and now one in Elbaf. Exactly. Let's not forget that despite the fact that we have seen many giants of incredible size from, regular sized giants and then Ors and then Elder Jarl, but also keep in mind that this is not the first time that we have seen gigantic weapons that literally dwarf every living thing in the world just from its own size. So first one we saw was a gigantic katana that basically is the same size as the skull dome of Onigashima, and that sword basically trumps everybody in size. Now we have a gigantic claymore sticking through one part of Elbaf itself, and it makes you wonder, how big have giants been in the past? It just makes you wonder just how big beings have been in the world of One Piece if a sword of that magnitude and size exists. That sword is about as big as like half the bridge of Tequila Wolf. That's in length. It is the size of a whole town. It's the size of several towns. Let's be honest here. If we wanted to measure it in size, that thing is probably as big as Water 7 is tall. Both Kaido and Loki mentioned the ancient giants ruled the world at some point, which makes you think about what was the world like with these ancient giants if they left weapons that huge. And also, another thing to keep in mind, did the ancient giants live in the era of the previous Joy Boy? Or did they live in the first iteration of the world where the whole world was just grazed and hazed over by fire, like we saw during the mural? Did they come back from the first world before the water level started to rise? Or were they alive during the time of Joy Boy, where the waters rose because of the war between Joy Boy and the 20 Kingdoms? So many questions. Would definitely love for Robin to see this mural, because when she sees it, see, this is what I like. This is what I like about Oda. His world building is so incredibly good that I am just anxious to learn so many things. I am so anxious to learn so much about the first world before the first, cataclysm. I am so curious about this world before the Void Century. Not even the ancient kingdom whose name has not been revealed, but the era of the world before all of that. Oh, I would love to learn so much about it. But I'm droning on for way too long, starting to believe that Oars at Thriller Bark isn't the original continent puller. His predecessor was several times larger. Continent puller. Now, Water 7 is small, then a mountain, but Sword is many, many mountains tall. Yeah. Easily, you know what I think about it? Yeah, because Water 7 probably doesn't even come up to like the base, like the halfway mark of Elbaf's entire tree. So that sword is many times larger. If it's able to eclipse the size of just the living area of the giants, now that's a giant sword, which means that the people who used to wield that sword are even taller. They're like the size of the Mechanons from Xenoblade Chronicles, the type of giant beings that people live on because their bodies are so huge, they're probably like that big. But it's got me. It's probably just. This is going to make me think about so many things throughout the week because we're going on break. But overall, yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is. I love One Piece. I love One Piece. To everyone here, whether you're new here or maybe you're just lurking in the background, thank you. And also my regulars as well, from also my moderators and members as well. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being here. I love reading One Piece with all of you. You guys make these readings so much fun to do, especially when I'm getting up and I'm screaming around the room. I'm just, there is ancient language on the magic circle. Yeah, there is. Because that's actually that's actually a really close depiction of the lettering on it. And it's not Japanese, it's nothing, it's some sort of unknown language. How crazy would it be if this is the ancient language of the people from the Void Century and before? And it also begs the question, who makes these things appear? Who makes these appear? Is this a power of the Gorosei, or is this a power of Imu-sama who's passing it on? But yeah. Also, I heard someone say Usopp needs a power-up. He does, but I've already went down a spiel on how this needs to be the arc for Usopp for him to get a bit of a boost. Either his observation haki awakens again and he can start to use it, or at least starts to come to terms that he has observation haki, or he just needs to get an upgrade on his weaponry. Either one, he needs an upgrade because we really haven't seen any big moments for Usopp in that way. Looks the same as the poneglyphs? Hold on, let me look up some poneglyph writing. Hold on, let me see the writing. I want to see the writing on one. You might be onto something. The lettering looks kind of similar. Because I'm looking at, it might be poneglyph-like writing. Because I'm seeing different characters and circles and contours and different things. This might be poneglyph writing. From the age of the poneglyphs. But that just leaves me with more questions. I have to stop. I gotta stop here. Because we got to move on to Sakamoto Days after I check on family downstairs. All I can say to everyone here is, from my moderators and members, viewers, subscribers, and even people who have not subscribed to me quite yet, I hope you do. But I just want to say thank you. You make this job so worthwhile, reading One Piece for all of you. I love doing dramatic readings of manga. Can't wait to start Kaiju number 8 tomorrow. Because I'm going to be doing, for those who don't know, I'm going to be starting Kaiju number 8 tomorrow. And every Monday, I'll be doing a volume per session until I fully catch up. Then Kaiju number 8 will move to Sundays along with Sakamoto Days, as long as the chapters themselves actually release on the same day as a Sunday. Hold on. Next chapter coming in February 27th. Huh. And January 30th was a Thursday. January 16th was a Thursday. January 2nd was a Thursday. These release on Thursdays? Oh, never mind. Then I guess Kaiju number 8s will move to Thursdays along with the beginning after the end. Okay, so much for me thinking that they're going to be on Sundays along with Sakamoto Days and One Piece. I got a good time frame of when they release. Kaiju number 8 chapters drop on Thursday. So once we're done catching up with Kaiju number 8, they will move to Thursdays alongside the beginning after the end. So I'll have 2 things to react to on a Thursday. So yeah, I think I'm going to be packing in my days with just like all sorts of different manga and different days and stuff. So yeah, but overall, this was a great, fantastic chapter. It got me out of my chair. Scopper Gavin is here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your support in any way that you show it. I appreciate it all. All I can say to you is hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later peoples, on to Sakamoto Days.